Ken here. I am your leaky gut coach and the founder of the JIA Blueprint. And today, what we are going to talk about is joint damage and whether or not it's actually reversible. When we get this JIA diagnosis, it is terrifying for me, and I can also speak for the many people that I speak to on the phone each week and hear their stories of how they got the diagnosis. And it is terrifying. A little bit about my story. Of course, this was over a decade ago. I do believe that, unfortunately, as it gets more common, it's being dealt with a little bit more compassion. But what I was told was she will deform, we will perform surgeries, really just like that. And they don't live as long. That's what I remember hearing. Okay, the word deform, the word surgery, and not living as long. I was like, what the heck? And I'm smiling now because my child does not have juvenile arthritis or autoimmune disease. But this is what we're told. And we're told that once damage is done, it's irreversible, right? And that's what that fear. I'm not attributing anything to this, by the way. I'm not attributing any motive. I'm not attributing any deceit or anything like that. This is what is known to the medical community. And they're simply sharing with you what they know at this time. And what they know, and they would be right, but hold on, put a pin in that if left untreated, if the immune system continue to go after the toxins in that joint, this would cause joint damage. And if we didn't do anything about it, it stands to reason that it would get worse. And if we don't do anything about it, it stands to reason that it will never improve. And that makes perfect sense, right? If we don't do anything about what's causing it in the first place, why would it improve? How would it improve? It would be like if we had a scab on our arm and we just kept, like, the immune system's cleaning out the joint. We're never dealing with the toxin that's in the joint. So it's there. It'd be like we're scraping it. Is that ever going to heal? No, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. And so that's what's happening in the body. So they're right. That is what would happen if we did nothing. And so the mainstream solution is we need to take that immune system and we need to silence it because it's seen as the culprit, not what's making the immune system go to the joint. That's how we deal with it in the blueprint. What's making the immune system go to the joint? Why is the immune system there? Ding, ding, ding. That is the $1 million question. Because that's what we're going to deal with in the blueprint, right? We're going to deal with not just the toxins that are in the joints that are getting the immune system's attention, but also how did the toxin get in the joint? How'd that happen? It doesn't belong there. How'd it get there? We go back. That's how it got there. We're going to fix that too. We're going to fix all the other underlying issues that have been created because of that first cause. Because although our child has juvenile arthritis, because of that first cause, because of an imbalanced gut flora, because of the leaks in the gut, because toxins are in the bloodstream, it's not the only thing it's caused. It's other things down the pipeline that it's caused, right? So when we think about that and we are thinking about, okay, how do we not just stop this joint damage from occurring, but how do we reverse it? And is it even possible? And so that's what I want to talk to you about today, because it actually is possible. It is possible. And not just possible. If we're doing all these things that are going to reverse what's happening in the body, we actually have one factor that is so working in our favor that we can guarantee that even if there is some joint damage, I'm not talking about a deformity, that something is, but even if there is some joint damage, some erosion going on, which usually that isn't the case because we usually detect it at the swelling levels and go to the doctor immediately. And now that it's become so prevalent, doctors are diagnosing it sooner and people are getting on medication sooner, getting that immune system to stop attacking the joint. So most of us, if not all, most of us are not in a situation where there has been any significant joint damage because we've done something about it, right? We are taking whatever steps we need to take for that not to happen. But the potential is there, right? Because all we're doing right now, let's say we are in that part of the path where we are on the meds, right? There's different paths that we take, and because we all are in a different boat in the same ocean, right? So let's say we're in that path where we're like, okay, well, here I am. The immune system is attacking the joint. I listen to the doctor. My child's on a biologic or methotrexate. We are currently not flaring, but like, now what? Like, how long does that last for, right? How long? We're always like, is it going to go away? Isn't it going to go away? And the answer is it's not. It might just come back when you come off the meds, or it would be another immune issue. And usually when our kids are small and they get it, when we do the medical thing and then we see the remission, because this is like a fatty area, so it's really good at hiding the toxins from the immune system. But in the meantime, because all we did was lock up the immune system, toxins are just pouring out of the gut, pouring out of the gut, pouring out of the gut. And then by the time our child comes off the medication and we're kind of looking to see, like, is it going to come back? They end up with some other autoimmune issue, like a different organ that isn't as fatty, like, maybe like the pain, maybe it could be type 1 diabetes, which is not good. The fatty areas tend to be able to hide the toxins better. So when it does come back out, it's going to go for the low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit a lot of times is the thyroid. It's the reproductive system. So a lot of times our kids will end up with some sort of like a hormonal problem, or maybe neurological, some emotional problems and things like that. And we're never going to connect them, but they are all one thing. They're all one thing. So let's talk about how we know that our child's arthritis can absolutely be reversed, though, because that's really, there's lots of information here and lots of things to understand how it works to get to that final answer and solution. But the thing that we have in our corner, and the thing that's really is making it so that no matter what, if you start doing the things to reverse what caused this in the first place, your child cannot have lasting joint damage. And the reason for that is because they're growing. I know. I saved it to the end. They're growing. Growing means cell turnover. And so that's something we understand, right? We understand that as we were growing, right, we were more hungry and we were, growing inches over the summer. And then as we stopped growing, cell turnover is slower and slower. As we age, the older we are, old people, eventually the cells don't turn over. We're not replicating like that. And that's, right, the path of life. But with our children, because they're growing, their cell turnover is like this. So that means brand new tissue, brand new joints, brand new liver, brand new everything. Every few weeks, months is brand new. It wasn't what it was before. It's replaced with new materials constantly. So how do we use that to our favor? Well, the cells can only replicate with what they got to replicate with. So is it true then, like the doctor says, that if they don't, go down this road, that they will eventually deform? It is true if you do nothing about it. If you do nothing about it and you don't give the body new material to build with, it's only going to keep building with the same faulty material. So this will just go down the road and gradually digress and get worse and worse and worse until, like my doctor told me, that she will deform, and then we will perform surgeries, and then she won't live as long. That's what they have to offer, along with remission. which is basically what we've understood to be the immune system being silenced while disease spreads throughout their body and underlying infections are able to basically just squat in their body with no recourse. So we want to use those options to get our children out of pain, because our child should never be in pain. But at the same time, we can't just rely on it. Not if we want that statement to be untrue. If we want that statement to be untrue, that our child's joint damage is irreversible, then we need to start doing something about it. We need to start giving the body new materials to build with, so that way, as they grow, they're building with better and better material. So not only is the joint and tissue and anything having to do with any possible damage that has taken place is being renewed on a daily basis, but we're also getting to the root issue as to why it even got to that way in the first place. And we're eliminating that factor all the way at a root level, even on a genetic level, where we're actually modulating the immune system, where it's no longer expressing any type of gene mutation whatsoever. And that's the legacy. That's what we can give our kids. We can give them long, strong, healthy joints and bones and tissue, and that of a lifetime of no autoimmune disease. Not by avoiding meds if we have to take them, but by doing something in tandem and in conjunction with them that's going to heal all of the underlying things that got us to this point in the first place. So I really hope that's encouraging, because I think that is a big, big thing that we are really scared of. And I'm not here to say that it's not true, because what they're saying is very true. That is and can be the outcome if juvenile arthritis was left untreated, meaning no meds, just let no. It would destroy the joints, and not just because it's actively destroying the joints, but there would be no end in sight because we're not doing anything to fix it. So sometimes the meds are necessary to pull the immune system back and to give the body time to heal, and for us to do all this work that we need to do to rebuild without pain. And then when the medical doctor, when the rheumatologist says, oh, look how good they're doing, and they start to lessen and lessen and lessen, and they make all those calls as they open it up and they lessen and lessen and lessen it, you're going to be in this situation where everything is just coming together and it's perfect time, and they're growing and they're healthy and they're not autoimmune, and the ANA markers are perfect and everything's perfect and the meds are off. And that is a totally different story than, not doing anything on this front, just the meds, and coming off and crossing. That's a totally different feeling too. We're like, we're always worried, is it going to come back? We're always it's just that swollen, and then, like I said, we won't even make the connection when it's another autoimmune or hormonal issue. We'll think they got something else when they really don't have something else. They just have the toxins all throughout their body that were never dealt with in the first place. So I know I talked about a few things, but hopefully what really did resonate is that you do not need to be afraid if you're doing all the things like we do inside the blueprint to get to the root issues, to the real deep root issues. A lot of people focus on healing the gut and they think that that's the root issue. It's not the root issue. That might be the first cause, but the root issue is even deeper. There's genetic components that need to be dealt with. There's underlying infections that need to be dealt with. There's organs, that detoxifying organs that are just sluggish and backed up, that need to be dealt with. And that's why so many people end up not really ever getting there. They try, we went gluten-free, or, we went and we got, these tinctures and drops, and we get some healing, sometimes 60%, 70%, but eventually what ends up happening is it fumbles into another autoimmune disease. And now we're off worrying about something else, never making the connection that we never fixed it properly in the first time. Never fixed it properly the first time. And it's really all one thing going on. So I hope this was encouraging to know that by handling things the proper way, you do not need to worry. You don't need to worry about irreparable joint damage. It's not possible because the body's growing. Okay. All right. So please subscribe to my channel. Share this video with somebody who you think might enjoy it. And yeah, if you subscribe, then you'll know next time every time I have a video, you'll get notified. And so, go ahead and do that. By all means, comment, share with me your story, what you have going on. If you have any questions, if there's a video you'd like me to make, and you can always reach out to me if you want to get on a consultation call with me. I'm always here. So until next time, bye.